how to replace the brake hydro boost on a 2005 Chevy Tahoe with a 5.3 liter. So on this one, you can see that this is actually leaking back here. It's got the power steering fluid all over it, so we're going to be replacing it for that reason. But let me walk you through the process first, and then I'll show you step by step kind of how to do it. So this part of the hydro booster is actually going in through the firewall back there. So you got to go on the inside to get the bolts off that take that off. But ultimately, we need to remove that from the firewall. This is going to be where your brake master cylinder is, right here. You're going to take that off of it as well. And then on the inside of the car, this actually attaches to your brake pedal. And I'll show you guys how to do that. So we got to detach the brake pedal and then take off, I think they're 15 millimeter bolts basically, but there's 4 of them that we got to take off. And then we're going to have to take off these 2 on the front to get the power steering or the brake cylinder, master cylinder off, and then we'll be able to put it in and put it all back together. One more thing that we're going to need to do in order to do that, we got to remove this line, this hose, and then this line on the other side. So the first thing we're going to do is disconnect the brake pedal. This is the uncomfortable part. You got to get in here, crawl up under your car, and then up here, you're going to see that is the little lever or the little linkage that comes through. You got to take that black clip off by pulling up on the center of it with the screwdriver, and then it just slides off, and then you should be able to pop that plastic piece off. This is what that piece looks like, and you're basically just lifting up on this inside tab to get it to unlock. Then you're going to slide it over, and then it should come right off. Then you have to pull this little plastic piece out a little bit and then up in order to get the linkage off. And this is the brake switch that I'm talking about. So if you ever have to replace your brake switch, that's all you have to do. But make sure this is off. And then the next thing that we got to do is take off the bolt. I know I keep saying bolts, but they're actually nuts. But you can see there's 2 here, one at the bottom, one at the top. And then I can get my phone to show them, but there's another couple on the side. Now these are kind of a pain in the butt to get to, but if you have like a 10-inch extension with the 15 millimeter deep and a swivel at the end of it, you can get to them. Then we're going to go out under the hood and remove both 15 millimeter nuts on the brake master cylinder. And again, you can just use your extension to get to them. Then make sure to pull this little bracket off and make sure that you put this on the outside when you put it back together. Then once we have that pulled back out of the way, we're going to go ahead and use some pliers to pull this hose off. And then we're going to use our line wrenches to get that one off as well as that one. Before you pull those lines off, it's a good idea to go ahead and put a drain pan on there because you are going to lose some power steering fluid. All right, so then once everything's disconnected, all you got to do is grab it and pull it out. It will come through the firewall, and then you'll just slide the new one back in. Then slide the new one in, reconnect your lines, including the hose up top. Then put your brake master cylinder back on before this bracket, and then the bracket, and then you'll put your nuts on. Then we'll go back in the car and reinstall our 15 millimeters, the 4 that hold that on. And then you're going to reattach that rod that's coming through, and then put your brake switch back on it. And you just want to make sure that the brake switch goes around that rod. Just like that, making sure that it clips in place. And now you know.